Thank you, Madam Speaker. I do not pretend to be an expert on caste or caste-based discrimination. I do not have the lived experience with this issue, but recently I had the opportunity to learn more about this topic from experts who live with this every single day. This speech is not an attack on religious belief, doctrine, cultural practice or a way of life. It is my role as Greens anti-racism and multicultural spokesperson to help elevate and amplify the voices of those who struggle to be heard. We do not know the prevalence of caste-based discrimination here in Canberra for one very simple reason. We don't keep records. But we cannot pretend it simply does not exist. Canberra's success as a welcoming city brings with it an obligation to take an ever more nuanced understanding of the intersectional challenges some of the sections of our multicultural community are facing. The Australian Human Rights Commission's National Anti-Racism Scoping Report from 2022 has shed light on the profound and extensive consequences of casteism and has noted widespread community demand for the inclusion of caste as a protected category in anti-discrimination legislation and policy. The report identified that casteism permeates all aspects of life, affecting fundamental civil, political, social, economic and cultural rights. This discrimination manifests in a variety of ways: direct interpersonal bias, systemic institutional barriers, and ways that are structurally invisibilised. Such caste-based prejudices lead to dire outcomes such as restricted housing opportunities, limited access to essential services and education, and exclusion from communal and religious activities. The ramifications also extended to the professional realm, adversely affecting labour and employment opportunities. Caste-oppressed groups in Australia grapple with systemic barriers when accessing government services, often feeling that their unique struggles aren't adequately acknowledged. I would like to acknowledge the work of the Coalition Against Caste Discrimination. The Coalition is a collection of individuals and organisations committed to combating caste discrimination and promoting equality and justice for all. It works on multiple fronts, including promoting education and awareness about caste discrimination, empowering marginalised communities, and advocating for legal and policy changes, whilst fostering dialogue and collaboration with key stakeholders. I would like to thank Mr. R.J. Narayanjan and Mr. Haroon Kasim for spending the time to explain caste-based discrimination to me, and I look forward to working with them going forward to address this challenging issue. Because we need to start with greater acknowledgement of and education on the overlap of casteism and racism as a key component of recognising the intersectional experience of caste discrimination within Australia's multicultural communities. We need to address the data deficiency I mentioned earlier, and then collaborate with caste-oppressed groups to develop tailored and targeted approaches that address the intersectional nature of caste-based discrimination. I am also examining the question of whether we need to amend anti-discrimination laws to explicitly encompass provisions that combat caste-based discrimination, thereby fortifying legal protection for these communities. We all need to take a nuanced approach as we champion multicultural inclusion so that Canberra is truly an inclusive and cohesive city.